a three. Bosch got off the bench and walked to the scorer's table. Inside to Bosch, and a foul.
You got to trust yourself. It's going to turn our way.
A delayed break. Garnett wide open, throws it down, and a foul. James on the move, he's unstoppable like that. Pierce for three. It's good. Paul Pierce from way downtown.
Suddenly, road wins are all the rage in the NBA playoffs. A night after the Oklahoma City Thunder gave the Spurs their first home loss of the postseason, the Celtics took to South Beach with a chance to steal Game 5 against the Miami Heat. The wild card coming in, Chris Bosh, who had missed 9 games with an abdominal strain, but active for Game 5. So were LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Good start, and the place was about to erupt.
Chris Bosh comes in now, and UD will go to the bench. Again, Chris Bosh, injured May 13th. Has not played since then. Let's see what he can do here.
Now, Miami had been just 12-11 in games Bosh had missed since he signed up with the Heat. What'd you guys think?
I thought he was moving well. I thought he played extremely well. When you get a chance to see, he had 6 offensive rebounds, shot the ball well, ran well, and he also had some great celebrations.
9 points, 7 boards in 14-plus minutes. LeBron James with the 3 there. Miami takes a 13-point lead. Rajon Rondo misses the lay-in. Somehow scores anyway.
Just a lot of, SMH moments, shaking my head moments from Rondo. Left hand off the glass, throwing it back up, and knocking it down. Unbelievable.
Nobody like him. LeBron James, 18 points, 9 boards in the first half. Miami up by 8. Garnett,
Great
the
block.
block on LeBron. On the other end,
Here's Rondo probing. Let the pack go ahead, and look at Kevin Garnett seal Mike Miller and get the and one.
Big close for the Celtics in that second quarter, Matt. They got themselves back in defensively. And here you see Paul Pierce working on Dwayne Wade and getting it going in the third quarter. Just staying close, the Boston Celtics.
and Miami actually had their first halftime lead of this series, but Boston gets to it in the third quarter. LeBron James, kind of a microcosm of the game for some Miami fans who felt like LeBron was going one on the Celtics for much of this game. Rajon Rondo to Kevin Garnett, who had 10 in the third quarter. We're tied at 60.
Well, if it was 5-on-1, that's right there, 5 on James Jones. Kevin Garnett over the top.
Michael Petrus was big off the Boston bench. That put him up by 2. Keon Dooling with a 3. Celtics finished the quarter on a 15-1 run and led it 65-60. Fourth quarter. Wade
This is a big shot.
to LeBron.
I mean, he stepped into it, knocked it down with confidence. When you watch this, that's the 8-10 mark. That's the last time LeBron James scored, so he scored with 9.4 left.
Wade had been very quiet, but got it going in the fourth. That put Miami up by 6. Wade, the block on Brandon Bass. Somehow, Rondo found Petrus for 3.
Well, if you thought the left-hand follow was good, this one's about 10 times better. To be able to time this ball, get over the top of LeBron James and make a pinpoint tap pass to Petrus, play of the game, even Coach Van Gundy during the broadcast said maybe play of the year for Boston.
And Petrus, 13 points, tied his postseason high as Garnett knocks down a jumper there. Boston off 81-80. Wade, tough drive, takes the contact, made the bucket, 14 of his 27 in the fourth. Celtics up 1. They got the swish, so Pierce working on LeBron James. Afterward, Doc Rivers said he thought Pierce was going to drive. Pull up 3 over LeBron, and Boston with a 2-possession lead at 90-86.
You got to love it. They got LeBron James, the defensive guy, on him, and you can see right here, he scored at 9.4, and like you said, Matt, earlier, they could conceded that play to LeBron James. Here's Kevin Garnett. His foul all goes wrong. You can throw it up to Kevin Garnett. He got to the free throw line, and these are huge. He knocked down both of them.
The Celtics kept knocking down those free throws, so Boston again up 4, and time just running out on the Heat. Wade will take the 3, won't go, and the series will go to Boston with the Celtics having an opportunity to win it. Boston's Big 4 are now 9-0 in Game 5s when the series is tied at 2. Rondo recorded his 39th postseason double-digit assist game.
Nothing's easy. We do it together. We don't do it individually, and when we do, we look bad. But when we do it together, we look pretty darn good.
What fuels you after 17 years in this league? What fuels you, Kevin?
The competition, the naysayers, the owners who talk too much. The people who don't think a 36, 35-year-old can do what I do. I take a lot of pride in my craft. I work really hard on my craft every day, and I'm a true professional.
There it is, the numbers against the Heat so far in this series. Just under 49% per game, just under 22 points. He had 26 and 11 in this game. How much has he affected this series so far?
Well, in every facet. I mean, Kevin Garnett has been unreal in this year's playoffs. And when he's off the floor, the Boston Celtics just flat out struggle. Offensively, he moves the ball so well, but defensively, he's the plug. You think about some of the things he's doing, Matt. First in double-doubles in the playoffs, third in minutes, fifth in points, first in rebounds, fourth in block shots, eighth in steals. And then probably the biggest number that Smitty brought up, and I did not know this, he has 104 fourth-quarter points. That is tied with LeBron James for the most points in the NBA in the fourth quarter. We won't tell KG that he's played 4 more games, but 104 from KG, unbelievable performance this year so far.
Meanwhile, if you're the Heat going in, if you're told that Rajon Rondo goes 3 of 15, you feel like you've got a good chance to win that game. And yet Rondo found all sorts of little ways, many of which won't show up in the box score, to win the game for Boston.
And it's crazy. We talked about Kevin Garnett. Now we have another guy that's on the same team, Rondo, that's doing just absolutely everything. These are unbelievable basketball plays. These are instinct plays. Understanding right now the shot clock coming down and making a quick double team. That forces a bad shot. And now you see Rondo coming off this, making a layup that he misses, goes back and get the rebound. The plays he has made. Here's another one, a directed rebound pass out to Petrus to save the possession. All these plays he's done, and you look what he's averaging, 20 points, 11 assists, and close to 7 rebounds. Big, huge plays that keep possessions. Even though he shot bad, this is a guy that puts his hands on every ball and every play. And every time you read a stat, Matt, you're talking about Magic Johnson, Bob Cousy, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and Rondo. His name is starting to be up in an unbelievable company.
7 and 13 assists in this game. Meanwhile, before the game, the wild card, as I mentioned, was Chris Bosh. He'd been out with that abdominal strain. He was active. He did played reasonably well, but not at all in the fourth quarter, and he was asked about that after the game.
I definitely had more to give, and, I'll be there. I just tried to be a good teammate for the guys that were out there. But as far as physically feeling, I felt good. It was good to really be back out there. And, when the time comes again, I'll definitely be ready to play more than I played tonight.
After the game, Eric Spoelstra said he didn't want to put Bosh in the position of having to insert him with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But why not play him at some point during the fourth?
Well, I'm with you, Matt, on that. Again, Eric Spoelstra being cautious with Chris Bosh, and not wanting to jeopardize potentially using him in the next game. But you're at home. It's a close game against Boston. What you saw from him in the first half was enough to tell me, let him go. I mean, 9.7 rebounds. That is Chris Bosh, a 7-time All-Star. Play him in the start of the fourth quarter. See what he's doing for you. Maybe he can extend the lead. Maybe he can hold it down. But not playing him at all in the fourth quarter. Obviously, there's going to be lots of questions in hindsight. Why he didn't play Chris Bosh in the fourth quarter. Obviously, more minutes to come in the next game.
For me, you must play him. He didn't look winded. He didn't like the injury was affecting him. He started to make positive basketball plays. And anytime you can go out and get 6 offensive rebounds in limited minutes, and also matching up against Kevin Garnett. They've been going so small, I think it's really hurting them. This is where Spoelstra has to stay big with Chris Bosh and also Joel Anthony and Turiel.
It'll be all hands on deck for Game 6 on Thursday night. The Celtics now 1 win from the franchise's 22nd Eastern Conference title.